Okay, I'll just start with the first question. Oh, we all know you've been
Awkward.
Orgless for such a long time. What made Team Secret being the worthy org to join, and how does it feel to be finally a part of an org? Basically, what made Team Secret being the worthy org to join is just like the relationship we built from the get-go. Like the first meeting we had was very nice, and we felt really welcomed by the whole family, I would say, by the whole organization and the support we received. So we just had a great feeling in general. So that's why we like committed to Team Secret.
Obviously, it's great to have somebody who appreciates you and is ready to reward you for that every month. Yeah, I'd say the same thing as you. Making Secret worthy was just right from the first meeting. Everyone was, well, you could just tell they were good people and a good fit for us. We were just like had the same ideas, and it just was a great fit for us.
First thing, it feels really, really, really great to be under such a great org again. Because it's difficult to play without an organization because people most likely have to work and do other stuff to pay their bills, for example, and we can't like focus only on playing video games or like Rainbow Six Siege. So it's a great opportunity for us that we can finally say that we are able to focus only on Rainbow Six Siege and continue doing our stuff which we want to love or which we want to do.
All right, Hive, do you want to elaborate on that?
Wise word choice. Yeah, like I'm very proud to be in such a great org. Like something like when you start playing a game, just play it to have fun. And like for me at least, like I never had any like, goal to play long term or whatever. In the beginning, I just got the game with my laptop, and I mean, ending in such a great org, incredible.
All right, let's continue with the next question. What is the story behind your in-game name, Draven? All right, so playing Siege takes a lot of cooperation and communication. What turns a good team into a great one?
Next question.
All right, I'll just answer that question real quick because normally you will need a great team to answer that one. So we are basically out of it. No, just kidding. I think what a good team turns into a great one when you like have the set roles and everybody is fulfilling their role and everybody is playing for the team and not for himself. Because you can have a good team with having 5 individual great players, but when all of them are playing for themselves and no one is playing for each other, then the team just won't work as well. Just anybody want to add something?
I would only add that a great team don't break just because of some losers. Like they stick together and work on their problems.
All right. Any German food or drinks you could recommend?
Schnitzel. That's it.
Just don't eat German food.
Yes.
Well, I could say Brezeln from Bavaria or Bavarian beer. It's nice. Just Bavarian, you know.
You could eat like raw meat with onions on bread. Yeah, like raw pork meat with onions. Everyone knows that. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
That's a really nice food.
No.
Yeah.
Nice food is
Currywurst.
yeah, currywurst. It's really nice. I don't know. Oh.
Yeah. Hi. I'm half Polish as well, and I don't really like traditional German food, and I don't drink beer. So, but I heard German beer is good, so I could recommend that to beer drinkers.
Beer's not good.
All right. Okay, I will just start with the first one. What are your thoughts on the current meta? So we'll just start with this one because it's like a two-way question.
What are my thoughts about the current meta? I would say it's a one which is changing a lot. You see like teams which are kinda like okay, this playing like really passive with a lot of shields and a lot of gadgets to know where people are coming from, and then you get teams like which are like adapting and playing really really fast, and this is something which is changing a lot right now that we get meta which is like changing not from season to season, but like from week to week.
I think the current meta is kind of very aggressive, so you really need to go for gunfights. You can't just like play passive like we did in the CL season or like even before that. I think you really need to go as a defender and peek people and win your gunfights, which is very different from the smoke meta, for example.
Yeah. Well, I think the meta is, it depends on the team. There's teams that play very aggressive and teams, as I said, that try to play like on Vitality style, for example, old Vitality style. And I think the main problem for a lot of teams is like being able to play against like all kinds of different metas in a way. Because like if you're used to playing passive teams, it's really hard to play against aggressive teams and vice versa.
Yeah, I think so too. But I also would say that I don't really like the meta how it is currently. But I think it will also change with the new operators coming out. It will get even more aggressive, more faster, and yeah, we will see how it will go.
On a couple of cards, you can play passively on spot. The meta is really heavy. You have aggressive operators in attack, and you don't need hard breach in this meta.
All right. So basically, the current meta is more of a utility removal meta at the moment, and sometimes it gets kind of stale and kind of boring because like you spend most of the round just removing all the utility from the other team. But sometimes there's like just a difference where you just rush side and go for gunfights straight ahead because like that's how you can win the round when people are trying to deny all of your utility. So my thoughts on the current meta are that's like you need to be adaptable, or you need to be able to adapt to your opponents to win most of your games because no team plays it the same way, and there's many different ways how to play the game right now. And then we get to another question: who is essentially responsible for developing the meta?
Do you mean a team with that or what?
I think you just say who you think is the like responsible for developing a meta, maybe an operator or.
I mean, I would say it's obviously the operators. Like a new operator is changing the game completely from season to season. But who's developing that is probably one of the product teams, most likely. So one team is doing it, and every other team is actually copying that. So basically, what I mean by that is that SSG was the first team which was like playing Clubhouse basement with like top floor defense, and literally every team copied that and still playing that. Yeah, strat, for example. So like one team is doing it and every other team is like copying it, or like taking parts of the strat, for example, and changing a little bit, or find new ways to like hold stuff and stuff. And that's how I would say meta is, for example, getting developed.
I'd say definitely gadgets mostly. I think examples like SSG are very rare, where like a strat works so great that everybody just copies it. I think mostly it's gadgets and mostly defender gadgets and the amount of how much you need to kind of bring.
Yeah, for me, like the meta, I think is developed. Well, for example, when a new map, a new operator, whatever comes out, well, now with 3 months delay, people in scrims test it out, they play with it against other good teams, and the other teams might have different points that like the team sees. You take a bit of like the puzzle of the other team, a bit of your own one, and then teams just start to see what is like good and what isn't good. Kind of copy in a way.
Yep, I would also say like operator, obviously every time a new season drops, new operators are coming with new gadgets and new abilities, which sometimes are even like really, really big game changers, but also small things like when they updated the shields or the new proximity alarms, those things will change the game really hard. And actually, I think a lot of stuff is like developed in ranked. Like people always first that what are the people doing in ranked, and then we kind of see how we can perfect that attack strat or defense strat.
I'd say the same. It's like mostly the gadgets that develop a meta. Sometimes it's even like the way gadgets work together. For example, we had the Mozzie meta when Mozzie came out. Mute, it's like by himself wasn't that strong, but combined with Mozzie, he just was way stronger, and therefore there was a Mozzie meta. And then now with Jäger and Wamai and all the shields with Goyo, we had the utility denial or removal meta where we had to remove all the shields and all the other gadgets. So it's basically just a combination of like how gadgets work together. I'll just ask the question: what would you change about the current meta, boys?
I probably would change that you in defense, for example, doesn't have to care about. No. In attack, you doesn't have to care about so many like shields, for example, because you have to like waste all your utility to get even access to the bomb side, which means like you have two sets of nades. You have like 3 operators with flashbangs, and you use all your flashbangs and nades for denying some shields, and then you have like nothing left for the side, which means like you either push or you lose because you need to get someone out of the position, and you can't because you don't have the utility anymore.
Yeah, I'd definitely say remove a lot of defender gadgets. It's really annoying that you, in attack, always have to watch out for how many flashbangs you have, how many nades you have, or ash charges. And it turns out that the 20-second meta actually isn't that much fun to watch either.
Well, yeah, I'd say remove utility in general. I mean, remove more from the defenders, but probably also remove a bit from the attackers. So it's a bit more gun skill heavier.
Yeah, I would love to see the meta change in the way that we are not seeing so many rounds winning or losing because of kills. I would love to see more rounds where people or like teams are actually going for plants, which is what the game is about, I would say.
Yeah, remove more shields in the defense. You need in attack Ash and Sophia, and in the meta you need on a you need not a hard breacher, and yeah, remove the fucking shields.
I will definitely say to remove some shields of some operators that are like mostly picked and then use shields. And also I would tweak Jaeger's gadget a little bit. So I would give him 2 ADSs with each of them like getting 3 charges instead of 3 ADSs having 2 charges to deny flashes. So he has to be like the Jaeger has to be more careful where to place his ADS, and he has to think a lot more about where to place his ADSs so he can deny his like the gadgets of the defenders, because now you can just run around, place 3 Jaeger ADSs, and you are saving basically a lot of stuff without even thinking about their placement that much. And when there's only 2 ADSs, you can you have more freedom as an attacker to push the other side or whatever.
Yeah, it's a good idea, but I think then like Thatcher should only disable the ADS.
So with the introduction of Ace and Malusi, any thoughts on their gadgets, and do you think they can shine in Pro League?
I definitely think that Malusi and Ace are going are getting a slot in a product team, or like actually in every product team, I believe, because as we mentioned already, like the 20 seconds meta, you can actually do this with Ace because you can open a breach way faster and way more consistent. And with Melusi, you can kind of hold more small rooms, or like long angles, I would say, like small rooms where you're not allowed to like peek. For example, like clubhouse basement, you're not allowed to die in blue, because if you lose that blue, you kind of lose the whole bomb site. Which means with Melusi, you can deny people from running inside without you knowing that they're already in front of you. So they have to like care about Melusi's gadget before like entering the building or like entering the room. And I'm pretty sure that both operators are getting played on every team, every time, every round.
I think Ace is going to be picked a lot. I mean, we've seen every hard breacher so far like being picked most of the time, or either banned or picked. On Melusi, I'm not quite sure, because it could be a case of being like a Frost or a Capcan, not really viable. Or it could be a Legion or Ella in her prime days. I think that really depends, but the fact that her gadget is bulletproof is really strong.
Yeah, I would say the same as Draven. Like a hard breacher is always like viable in a way, especially when hard breachers are banned. It's always nice to have another option. And yeah, for I mean, the defender is more like an entry denial operator, which is nice in a way, but I haven't tested these.
Yeah, I think if they don't get nerfed, they will be like really good operators in the next season, because both of them like can just play individually. You don't need that much team play, but you can still implement a lot of things. Like the defender new gadget is so overpowered if you like slow enemies and they want to rush, and you can just C4 them from underneath because you hear them. And I think it will be a lot of fun to play against them when you can't move and everyone hears you beeping.
Yeah, we became a new hard breacher, and the defender, I don't saw his gadget at the moment.
I think both of their loadouts are pretty strong and there will like Ace is more of an utility denial operator as well, so he can help with the meta, with the current meta. But then Malusi, on the other hand, just reinforces the meta again with her gadget a little bit. So I think it's maybe a combination of how Malusi's gadget is used as well. But I think their loadout is pretty strong, and I think both of them can shine in Pro League. And then we'll just continue with the next question. Which defender or attacker do you think is OP right now?
OP.
Yes.
Okay.
In my opinion, let's go with the shields again. I'm pretty sure everyone hates it, but we are coming to that, and that's Montaigne, because from I don't know when they changed it, but a couple seasons ago they changed that you're not able to knife shields that easily
Yeah,
anymore,
that's
which
quite long
means
already.
it means you can knife it, but he can knife you at the same time and you're dead. Like if I play against the Montaigne, I'm dead 100% of the times, and if I play Montaigne, I'm dead as well because I'm a bad Montaigne. Like it needs kind of some of the skill, I would say, but it's like you can push so much with the shield and you're not able to kill the shield, or like you have to like play with your team a lot more to take the shield out. And yeah, that's what I suggest, like take the shields out.
I would agree with Monty a lot, because having an operator that if picked you need 2 defenders at least to counter him is, I think it's kind of too strong, especially with only 1 6 pick.
Well, I think Monty is annoying, yeah. But I think like the thing with Monty is it's quite hard to play that good with him. I mean, it's not hard to play okay with him, but really play well with him is hard. And for me, like operator, which I hate, just changed now is, for example, Ella with the activity change, but that's fine now, I guess. Yeah, I think like maybe the Wama Jäger combi is a bit annoying. Just too much utility it takes out.
Yeah, I think so too. The combination of Jagger and Vamai at the same time makes it so hard for attackers to attack when Thatcher, for example, is banned as well. And you just need to have like a million flashbangs, and then they play Goyu as well. So in defense, I don't think there's like this one operator which is overpowered. It's more the combination. And in attack, it's like it's only Montaigne because he's a little bit bugged right now, as K has said. Like sometimes he steps into a Legion mine and like his shield is glitching all the way through his body. Draven had that problem once where he killed him, but
Yeah, a lot of
not
fun
really
there.
the game. So yeah.
I think on defense is the Shield Jäger Wamai combo, and on the attack, it's for me Buck. You have 4 magazine in the shotgun with 16 bullets. I think it's OP.
Alright. I don't think any operator in particular is OP by himself. I think like the combination, like already mentioned, Jaeger and Wamai together, for example, or other combinations make them OP together, but no operator by himself is that OP that you can't deal with him. What makes Rainbow Six special?
I mean, what makes it special is, in my opinion, the combination of a FPS shooter, like straight shooting on the head, and the combination of, I would call it MOBA. You get different options, like how to play, like you get gadgets, utility, whatever you want to call that, and you bring it into an FPS, and it's so unique that there's literally no other game which have it. And you can even like completely change the map by like opening walls and reinforcing the walls, which means like every situation is a new one, and that's what Siege makes it special.
Yeah, I definitely agree on that. I think the fact that you have heroes with special abilities, just really amazing in a shooter. It's kind of like Overwatch, but the fact that you have realistic movement, realistic characters, I'd say, combined with the destruction that Siege has, is just makes it different from any other game.
For me, like Siege isn't just different like game style wise, but also like it's a game which I think most people really love and hate at the same time. And I think there's many games which are like that like love-hate relationship, because Siege can be very, very frustrating and very, very rewarding at the time. So I think that is what makes this game enjoying to me.
Yeah, for me, what makes it special is that you like always can find new ways how to play the game, new angles. There's always something new, even if the map is played like for 2 years in competitive. Some people are always finding new ways and new angles and stuff which is in the game for years, but no one ever used it. Like for example, the upside down repel and stuff like this. Like it just comes in play because someone plays it and it's very good, but no one knew about it. And that is really amazing that you can always find new stuff to do, and yeah, everyone can kind of define his own playstyle in the game.
I think what makes Rainbow special is just the tactical aspect of it, and it's not only about the mechanical skill, because you can win gunfights and rounds not based on your mechanical skill but on your team play, and I think that that is what makes Rainbow special to me. Is there any other games you play?
I played a bit of Valorant when it came out because it was like in a hype and I wanted to test it out. But yeah, like back in the days, I was like a Counter Strike kid. I would say I played a lot of Counter Strike every day, and right now I started to play like World of Warcraft again. So I waste my time in World of Warcraft currently.
For me, it kind of changes. At the moment, I'm just playing one MMORPG next to Siege, but it's mostly just main Siege.
Yeah, for me it's mainly Siege, and then like sometimes find a game that I like a bit, play it for like a few days.
All right, for me, it's definitely besides Siege, it's like Call of Duty, the new Warzone game. But I like to play a lot of different games like Valorant, League of Legends, and all those games which are very popular.
For me, it's World of Warcraft and Warzone.
Yeah, I play a bit of Warzone when the cheater situation just gets too much for me to handle, then I'll jump into Warzone. So, given the chance to change anything in game, what would it be? For example, operator, map, or whatever.
Uh, get the game to the old stage, bring it back to year one. I would say.
Oh no.
Yes, like
I think people remember year one better than it was.
of course it wasn't like the best season
Yeah,
or
I think
best
so too.
year, and but still you had like less to care about, like utility wise. You had like SMG ACOG, Bandit ACOG, the Giga ACOG, which everyone wants to get back, and it was fun to play. I would say you had like less utility, and obviously you had less options how you like can change like a strat, but it was so unique back in the days that it was even more fun to play, in my opinion.
I think I would make the maps a little bigger, to be honest. Because, like Lazo said, people want to see, or at least pros want to see people going for plans more than we are now. And I think bigger maps would encourage that a lot.
Well, I would first of all kind of change the ranked map pool to the competitive map pool, because nothing is more annoying than playing maps like outranked. Like, that map is nice. No, I don't even want to think about it. And well, as well, I would kind of, well, it's nothing easy to fix, but there's so many changes in ranked right now, hurting the fun in it.
Yeah, I think so too. I can't think of a thing which I wanted to change about maps or operators. It's more that like playing ranked on a high level is enjoyable again. So you can actually like train. And oh yeah, when I speak about training, it would be nice to have a training mode in Rainbow Six where you really like can train first your aim and can also like set up strats and don't need to go into a custom game and then you need to think about a way how to kill yourself again and you don't have infinite ammunition, so you can't destroy all the walls, you can't reinforce all the walls. That would be nice from a coaching perspective, at least.
One change is bring bigger maps, and yeah, that's it.
There's two things I would change. First is the aim practice mode. I would love to see one of those in the game. Secondly, it would be great to like change the red dot or the reflex sights. Like they should be a bit different, more like based on Call of Duty style. Like the red dot is not valuable at the moment. There's just a few people using them. But I think it could be way better if they are just like reworked in a way. So I would change them. What?
Okay.
Once Lord Tachanka's rework releases, who is gonna be the main Tachanka player on the team?
It's
I'll
just
def-
me.
I'll just answer it real quick because everybody knows it's Hive.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean,
Right, yeah,
I would
that's what
say
I thought about.
it's not Expo because he needs to play Smoke still, you know, and probably Hive as you mentioned already because he can't play the SMG11. I mean, he gets better with it, but we need kind of like the anchor on him, and since he can't play the SMG11, there's not that much which he can play, so he needs to play the Tachanka.
All right. So, what is your opinion on Siege's 2020 and 2021 esports program?
The only thing which I can say that I see the best of ones in the European League again, and I'm not a huge fan of best of ones, so change the best of ones, please.
Yeah, same. I would say change best of ones to best of threes. But I really like the longer seasons. 9-month season is really great.
Yeah, I'd say the same with best of ones. Just like the game is over before it even started.
Yep. But other than that, like how Ubisoft is setting everything up and the tournaments, etc., the leagues, and how like the smaller leagues now come together and like get more viewership because like you can actually reach Challenger League and from that you can reach Pro League. It's really nice and I think it's really good, a really good move, and it's like nice to see that tier 3 teams and lower tier teams get the chance to play against the big boys and qualify for CL.
All right. I would say it's pretty exciting, and I think it's a great way of growing our esport or our title and into becoming a real tier 1 title, esports title. And just the best of ones are not that great, but we'll come to that in the next question as well. So, compared with other regions, what pros and cons does the European League have?
Oh, that's what I mentioned already. Like the pro is that you get like a 9 months, like.
But compared to other regions, every region has like the same length. Just what are the pros and cons? For example, the cons are in the European League are the best of ones because NA has best of threes and they're on a LAN environment. So going into majors and into like the Six Invitational, they will be better prepared than the EU teams will because they can play best of threes on a weekly basis. That just improves you as a team. The pros, I would say that the skill gap is way closer in EU right now than in other regions, but that might change with the program and how it is right now. So I think NA will like they did catch up a lot the past year. I think they will overtake EU when it comes to it because they will have just a better surrounding for now. Okay, what would you like Ubisoft to do differently with the game and the pro scene?
I mean, it's a little bit hard to tell because we don't know exactly what Ubisoft is doing behind the scenes, but like if they what I want to change is definitely the ranked environment, like that you can actually really enjoy playing the game outside of competitive. But other than that, I'm really happy with the way Ubisoft is handling things. Like, I think the move to Face It is really nice, and yeah, I'm happy to work with Face Sit. And yeah, we will see.
Yeah, I would also say like only ranked is one of the major points that comes to mind right now because it's kind of hard to enjoy. But we don't know what Ubisoft is working on behind the scenes, and things like that take time for sure from a developing standpoint. So we can't like blame them for everything. Well, what I would also say is like involving the pros a bit more when it comes to operator design and listening to them. I mean, I think it's improved a lot in the past few months, weeks, but I think that like this could be a way to improve the game. No one else.
Yeah.
All
Let's
right.
go to the next question.
All right, let's go. Let's now we're on the social media questions. The first
Now it's
question.
going wild.
Yeah, now it's going to
Now
be
the fun
wild.
begins.
So the first question is, how does Omata eat his beans? I think Lasse can answer that because he
Oh.
spends the most time with him.
I'm not even sure if he even eats beans. I mean, yeah, he's vegan, as maybe some of you know. So maybe I don't know. How are you eating beans? Like,
I don't
what is
know.
this?
There's a
method?
UK.
the good
There's a
old
UK way, you know.
UK way, you know, the
Yeah, on toast or not? Isn't
Yeah,
it
with
on
tomato
toast?
I have no
sauce.
idea.
Like it's the fried beans with tomato sauce on like toast.
Let's just
Yeah,
say we
yeah,
don't
but
care
Like,
about.
like,
Yeah,
to be
Omata
honest,
does not like them. He hates the typical English breakfast, from what I know.
Yeah. So
So
like
to
to
be
be
honest,
honest. All right, let's go.
to be honest, I'm kind of like, if someone like posts pictures about that thing, I'm like close to like mute them. So let's go with the news. Next question, please.
All right. I think that's a troll question because it can't be true that somebody really thinks that Omerta has a big brain. But there's a question:
who
why
said
is
that?
Omerta such a big brain?
Who said that?
It's Yosh.
Is there even an answer to
what
such a
did he
question?
said?
Why he asked why is Omerta such a big brain? Then Dokie from Navi, we don't like him, just so you know. Who is the better brother, KS or Expo?
Expo, I'm looking good.
Oh, no front. I mean,
we
they have
are
a bit of a
really
brother
good.
rivalry, and I'll think that both say they're the better brother, but we won't say who's the better one.
I think this will just lead to civil war if we say it.
Yeah, sure. All right, then. Zofox asked, do you feel like there's a big difference between how Tier 1, Tier 2, or Tier 3 play? And if yes, what exactly is the biggest difference in your opinion?
I would say, in my opinion, it's like how.
Oh, never mind. Question goes to Hive, Prano, Expo, and Draven.
Okay.
You're out.
Should I go?
The tier 3 players.
Like-
Let the tier 3 players answer.
okay, sorry. I can go if you want to.
Ah,
Yeah,
Just-
please.
just stay for the vibes, you know? All right.
Unlucky.
I think in EU especially, there's not a huge difference. You can see it in the way GSA, or the GSA league pans out at the moment. Fact just beat two Pro League teams or European League teams in Rogue, which was the first, the European champions from this season because they were in offline finals, and then us as well. So I think there's not a huge difference. Of course, there's a bit of a difference when it comes to stratting and team play, but when it comes to gun skill, there's not a big difference between of like how the teams play.
I think the biggest difference is just overall communication, coordination, and player game knowledge, I'd say. Like a lot of things are just small things that players do that lower tier teams just don't know about.
I think it's
Hi.
like mainly about like how much teams play, I guess, and how well they can adapt. I think like higher tier teams play more, they see more different strats, they can counter and play against different strats. Teams that is different. But like skill isn't like that hard.
All right, then we have a question from 721624041, and his question is: who is most likely to lose a 1v1 in the invitational final match point?
Hive.
Hive,
Hive,
Yeah,
definitely.
Hive.
Jacob, he would get nervous.
I knew it.
All right.
On Tachanka though, I would lose it on Tachanka, okay?
So M. Rose Marie asks, who has the hairiest arms, coaches included? And I think we all can agree it's Omata.
Yeah.
Yep.
Let's all be happy that he isn't here to show the evidence, but yeah, it's just
Yeah, it will be Omata 100%.
All right, then there's a question. Why is Expo still in KS's backpack?
I mean, if we look into the like Challenger League stats, I would say that's true.
No front.
Bro!
But if Prano would answer on that question, he's like, last season I was like only playing Thermite and Smoke, so that's probably the question or like the answer on the question. So
Let me play Jaeger. We can change it. You can
Alright.
play all the time Smoke.
You see what you do when you ask these questions between those brothers. Let's like don't involve them in these questions. Then there's the next question. Who would you take to a lonely island with no connection to the outworld? KS, let's go.
I would
would
go
take-
alone.
you would go alone? Okay, I would take probably Lazo, just because we can watch some movies, you know.
Alright.
Yeah.
I'll just like interrupt. I'll say my girlfriend, and I'm basically happy that they didn't say their girlfriends because they won't have a girlfriend after this video is public. So Hive,
Yeah, team
Bro.
related, Prano.
Team related.
That's
but-
why I
No.
asked in the beginning if it's about like somebody else's team or not.
it's just who would you take to a lonely island? There's not from the team. It's who would you take?
But I'm pretty sure he means from the team, you know.
I would take no one from the team because you're all annoying as fuck.
See, I would take Prano, so there's always like good vibes, you know.
He would just force him. He does not even want to go there, he would just force him. Nice.
Alright. Then we'll just continue. When you guys are playing in a tournament, say an invitational, do you guys get really nervous? If so, how do you manage it? I think there's one person in particular that
hating.
gets really nervous sometimes, so I think you'll just answer the question.
Well,
I've-
against getting nervous, it's like the thing that helps most is just continuing to play a lot. Like you're not gonna stop being nervous about it. And I think it's normal to be nervous like some point, you know. So
Yeah, I would just add like to be a little bit nervous is always good because that gives you a little bit self pressure and lets you play even better. And I mean, no one of us really played at the invitational, so we will see when we come there.
Yeah, I think generally there's like some ways where you can fight nervousness with like chewing gum, for example. That helps a lot, or just like breathing techniques before a special game. But I don't think like we get really nervous anymore in front like in games. But when it comes to the invitational, it might be different. What is your guys' favorite snack to have before a tournament?
KF.
Chicken nuggets. Yeah, some chicken nuggets. I'm actually eating before like an actual game. I'm eating chicken nuggets, obviously, which helps.
Obviously, look at my chair.
Who?
Who?
No, yeah, I eat chicken nuggets. Even on invitations back in the days, I was like, or like almost the whole team was like eating chicken nuggets before. So that was spicy.
Yeah, I like to eat any kind of chocolate bar before a tournament or before a game, like just because it increases your blood sugar. So don't drink energy drinks or something with like very high sugar, but I like a bit of chocolate bar really can help if you're low on energy.
I just eat something that's got a lot of sugar. Mostly fruit is the best, I think, because it just gets into your blood the fastest. And yeah,
All right. Then, how do you prepare for a match? I think in a personal way, it just depends on how everybody is just like having their ritual and stuff and doing what they feel like when they're most comfortable playing. But
Chicken nuggets.
for example, but I think as a team, how we prepare for a match is just like concentrate on our things that we want to work on, and we'll see which map are most likely to be played, and then we'll concentrate on that maps during the week in preparation, and we'll see what we can improve and maybe find some little things that we can take advantage of in the way the opponent plays, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing we could add is that before every real match, we always play one map at least of warm up.
All right, so this is the most accurate question I've seen today, and it says, "Why is Prano so sexy?"
That's probably just
it
like
fits.
his genes, you know, supreme genes.
Yeah, Lasse, what do you want to say? Say it.
We can skip it, I said.
Oh my. All right, then there's another question that is like the most inaccurate question of them all. Why is Omata so goddamn sexy?
Like, why would you ask such a question after?
It's
Because
probably
he
his
has
long hair. Yeah, it's probably
Yeah.
his long hair. Then Freddy Ion asks, why does KS have no gamer glasses?
Because I would say it's most likely because I use like monitors which has like all the stuff which you normally get from a gamer glass. I mean, the most people which are using gamer glasses also say like it looks good, but I kind of don't like the yellow glass, and also normally I don't like use glasses anymore just because I don't need it. So it's just to
Oh, well.
kind of look good, Kappa.
All right.
Yeah.
So I hope I pronounced the name right. Kilian Koplinik asks, what's your favorite food and why is it nuggets for KS? So we'll just start with everyone's favorite food. Draven?
oh my god, it's so hard. Food is just great. I guess it's burgers. A really good burger just doesn't get topped.
Well, does chocolate count as food? Can I
Oh.
You
say
eat
chocolate?
food?
Yes. Can I say chocolate cake or chocolate?
Yes, you can.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's go.
Just saying.
Chocolate.
For me, it's steak with potatoes.
I don't have a favorite food.
All right,
I
you
love
just like
all
everything.
German food.
Oh. Yeah, for me, I would agree with Lasse on that one. I think a good steak was like the best thing you could get.
I thought you would say Döner kebab.
I don't
I don't
know.
know what.
That's just the most easiest
I mean,
dish
you
you
live
can
in
get.
Poland, so there's most likely no kebab.
There is. All right, and why is it nuggets for you, KS?
Actually, don't know. They taste good. You can get them everywhere. So, for example, if you had invitationals in Canada, you get the chicken nuggets like literally everywhere from McDonald's, from I don't know, from everywhere, you know. So it's the easiest thing which you can eat everywhere and it tastes good. So
How many hours do you practice per day or week? I wonder because I heard from Corey that they were practicing like 10 hours during PL. So first thing I'm going to say is Corey talks a lot of bullshit. So don't always believe what he says. Second to it, I will like answer it really depends. Like mid-season, I think we're doing a bit less when it comes just for like basic practicing, but like more preparing for matches. I don't think we have like a set number we could say that we like use per day, but it is like 5 to 6, I would say. 5 to 6 hours a day is what the minimum should be or is to achieve a certain level as a team.
And then like that's more like 5 to 6 hours of scrims, like meeting before and everything. And then there's also playing key hunt and stuff, or like just playing the game.
Yeah, of course, like the individual practice that you can have, like you can always do 12 hours a day if you want to, but like generally speaking for a team, I think it's 4 to 6 hours. Yeah. Almighty Twitch asks, what was your mindset during the match against the Fuse Kids? How did it feel to pull off an insane comeback?
I would answer that with we were like, if Zizou wins one map, we are going to do that. And obviously, we thrown a lot of rounds against Diffuse Kids, but we were like in the mindset that we are going to do that. And for example, Prano was hyping so much. He was kind of maybe insulting in some ways, way, but
That's his way of hyping.
yeah, that's his way of hyping. But we were like hyping everyone. Everyone was hyping everyone, and I mean, even during the re-host, because Prano like I think your game crashed or something. I can't remember anymore if it was the game or the internet. It just crashed, and obviously we lost the round, and everything was like going down again. But after re-host, we were like fresh mind. We were going in with a fresh mind, and we were like hyping each other again, and we knew that we can do it, and we proved it.
Yeah, I would also add that like once we saw Sisu win the match against Penta in a dominant fashion, by the way, we were just super hyped, and we knew that we had the chance to do it, and then we had it in our own hands. What was the most important thing as well. So basically, every round we lost, we knew that we did say like small mistakes, and we just didn't bother that much. We just took one round after another, and then we'll just we just did it. And of course, after we pulled off the comeback, we were like happy, and we were so hyped that the next map or the next match,
The same map.
which was Clubhouse again, we just felt unbeatable, and that I think it showed in the way we played and in the way we just won every round.
Yeah, I think we only just got a bit annoyed in the first game at like Monty, I'd say. Not even people trash talking or whatever, but like Monty. And for example, in the second map, we just banned it. Went a lot better.
All right. So, Hive, recently you finished the statistics exam. Could you please tell us how to balance the pro career and your academic work?
Well, let's say I'm not the perfect student in a way because I'm kind of lazy. So for me, it's kind of easier to do it that way. Well, it's easier in a way because stuff. But like for example, at the end of CL, it was tough managing both because I started the day really early in an exam, and then I ended the day in a CL match, which all was like, yeah, a lot of fun for a few weeks. But
I'll just add to it because I'm studying as well. I think it can be tough, but if you really want to do both, then you can manage. You just have to be able to manage your time correctly. And be self-disciplined, or you have to self-discipline yourself, and then both is possible to do well at the same time. Maybe Lasse can elaborate on that as well because he's studying as well.
Yeah, it's really true what Prano says. It's more about yourself. Like you can manage it. Obviously, there are some cases where you like when you want to have a really good mark that you need to invest a lot of time in that, then maybe it's not working that great. But normally, like you can study early in the day and have your courses there, and then just play Siege all night long, basically. But at a certain point, sometimes you need to make a decision what you want more and then put more time into one of either things. But that does not mean that you need to stop studying it all.
All right. The next question is for KS. It's been a year since you played on PL. Any feelings to share with us?
I mean, obviously, it's nice to play in Pro League again or like European League now. But like the feelings is that you had a lot of ups and downs, and that you still managed to come back with that and make it back to Pro League where you like belong. I would say is a huge like impression, or like, how can I say this? I was like super happy. I was like screaming, and I think everyone can say something about that as well. But yeah, I was super happy.
Yeah, I think none of us had the same feeling because like KS was the only player. Of course, Lasse was in PL as well, but KS was the only player of the team who has been in PL before, so it's kind of a different feeling for him. So, of course, but we were all just very happy to finally achieve what we wanted to achieve for a very long time. There's the next question for Expo. We noticed from your Twitter account that you recently changed your ADS setting to hold. Why did you make the change, and did it bring a different experience for you?
Why I change it? Um,
Because
I
I
don't
told him
know.
to.
Huh?
The real
Because I
question
told you to.
The real question is, why did you put it on toggle in the first?
That's the
Um,
That
question.
is the actual question.
I played before Rainbow Six. I played CS:GO for 4 years, and I was a RVP main player, and I got toggle on my mouse all the time in CS:GO. And in Rainbow Six, I played all the time toggle. And Lazo came to me, why you don't play hold? And I changed it, and it was really good in scrims. And yeah, I played hold.
All right. Okay, that question is for me. Anyone mentioned that your side face looked like Doki? To be honest, a lot of people did, especially in my stream, and I don't see any really really anything that is looks similar from me to Doki. But yeah, if people say
You're
it looks
trying to insult Doki here.
no, I'm not trying to insult Doki. It's all love, but yeah, I'm for myself. I don't see the similarities, but there's a lot of people bringing it up
I
lately.
think
So
you look just like twins. Exactly the same.
yeah, but I'm first of all I'm the taller twin, and I'm the the more beautiful twin. So all right. So then there's three last questions. Any place you would like to visit in China? I would say I would like to visit China in general. I've never been to China. I've been to Thailand before and other Asian countries, but I really like to see how like life in China is like. So there's no specific place I'd like to visit, but China in general.
I would visit Hong Kong probably.
Yep, I would go to Hong Kong with Hive, and I think it's in general once in your life you should visit this country.
I
Yes.
would probably say the same, like China in general, because like I'm pretty sure that everything is like different, like to Hong Kong, for example. So why just go to one like big city when you can go to like the whole state? I would say.
All right.
I think it's not easy for everybody to go to the whole state of China.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, it's
Of course, like you need like probably the money and
The time.
the time and stuff. But if you have like you don't have to go like you don't have to like set like 1 month to like visit everything, but you can like go once to Hong Kong for like 2 weeks, for example, if you want to, or like 1 week, and then go like 1 year later to another part of China. You know.
Then anything you would like to say to your Chinese fans? First of all, thank you for your support, guys. We really appreciate you. We see like all the messages we get, so that's really great and encouraging for us.
like I would say the same. It's always nice to have people that are supporting someone, like no matter where they are from.
I mean, I would add to that that it's really nice to see people even from China supporting us, because like for example different time zones you can't even most likely watch our games, because I'm pretty sure you're like in the night when we have like games coming up, and it's really nice that you're still supporting us even if you can't like most likely watch the games. That's like a special thing for us.
All right. So the last question of the day, boys. What's your most unforgettable moment in your career? I'll start with myself. I would say um being picked up for the first like CL season for myself, like last CL season was one of them, and then of course qualifying for Pro League. But you never have enough, so you always want to win more. So basically, qualifying for Pro League was great, but it doesn't feel the same as you would imagine because you feel like you want to achieve it for a very long time, and once you achieve it, you just want to win more. So it doesn't have the same significance as you would feel like it would in the beginning. I've
Well, yeah, the best moment. Well, yeah, I guess winning stuff in general always feels nice. I mean, for example, even when we like Prano, Expo, and I lost at German land, where it was still a great experience. I think like that was a nice experience for me because first time I played somewhere and like got to an event and stuff playing myself.
I'd say for me it's definitely the Pro League win. I mean, the qualification for Pro League.
easy clap.
Just because the chances were so low that we would actually make it. People
Uh,
were rooting for DK, and the trash talk made it even funnier. The second best would be, I think, my first LAN, because it's just great to meet people and have that experience.
For me, I have actually 3 things. It's obviously like the 2 Pro League wins, obviously, like with the old Panther squad, which is like spread over the world right now, I would say, or like over the teams. And second thing is playing in front of like a big stage in Rio de Janeiro or Sao Paulo, for example. It was like a nice experience, and it's always love to come back there. And last but not least, but it's like the worst thing you can imagine is actually you playing in the group stage of invitationals. Probably Lazo knows that, and everyone knows that as well because you probably watched
You mean
that.
60k?
Yes, you like a good team. You're like so close to make it happen that you can like go in overtime and most likely win because we were like coming back so strong, you know. And then we like made one little mistake, which was from my side. I wanted to get closer with Jackal to like track the steps, and then he peeked me, so Rips couldn't go to the windows, and which like destroyed the whole plan, like coming from 3 different angles at the same time. And then everything started from like Corey like getting picked apart, and Rips and me, we couldn't like do anything against the shotgun, and that is like probably the worst experience, and everyone have seen that, and still everyone is like mentioning that situation, I would say, because we were like so close to get on the main stage of the invitations, I would say. And that's something which is like I don't know, like a big experience, but also like the worst experience which you can like imagine.
Yeah, I would also say like making it to Rio de Janeiro was the best thing, and to play and perform in front of this amazing crowd, that was the best feeling I've ever had in Siege.
The best experience for me was the CL season. You got really close games, and you got a nice team play in the CL season, and you're winning the CL season with a good team.
All right. So that's basically it.
Alright, boys. GG. That was